On the Frontline, proudly brought to you by UT Life Insurance.
It is another edition of On the Frontline, and I am Thomas Naadi Bitlegma. I'm reaching you from Northern Ghana. Shea nut, often referred to as the cocoa of Northern Ghana, provides employment and income security to many Ghanaian women. But the open destruction of the trees poses a serious threat to their livelihood. The absence of bylaws has also worsened this unfortunate development. In today's edition of On the Frontline, we'll be taking a look at the shea nut industry and what is being done to protect shea trees from destruction. Sanatu Bawa comes from Nyong, a village in the Karaga district of Northern Ghana. She is the leader of a women's group who are into shea butter production for export. This business is their main source of livelihood.
The Malasan entity, Titray, the Maran Kamanti and Tommy and Burgona, and teaching me, and Mary, and Joel Woma, Tito Nole, Karana Farners entity.
The Mallory, I'm planning annual.
I quite annual. Luna Shikurude.
The women here are faced with many difficulties. Something
Yeah, Mostraya. The body Pamatuma. The Jawishi drew the thing in the shell. And merely canon dancing on dinner. A bandy. The bandit and Nolan drug, number shane, and damba. Nerian Toro Quam, the America.
What's more, these days they are not getting enough shea nuts because of the gradual depletion of the shea trees. The tree grows naturally in the wild in the savanna belt of West Africa. In Ghana, it grows in the entire area of northern Ghana, including northern Volta and southern Buno Ahafo. It takes about 30 years to reach the age of maturity. Without harsh environmental conditions, such as bushfires and the felling of the trees, it can bear fruit for 300 years. It can yield 100 tons of shea nuts worth $100 million per year. The fruits are gathered by women to process into shea butter. According to SNV Netherlands Development Organization, there are about 900,000 rural women engaged in shea collection and 7,000 in shea butter processing. The shea butter is packaged and exported abroad for the cosmetic and confectionery industries. Some of the butter is also processed locally into finished products and for household consumption.
Multi-TA Enterprise specializes in Shea cosmetics and butter production.
Shea butter is not only exported as a raw material. Here at Multi-TA Enterprise, it is also processed into finished products like soap and pomade.
Abubakar Rabiatu is the Chief Executive Officer of Multi-TA Enterprise. She says shea butter forms a greater proportion of the material she uses for shea soap, shea body pomade, and African black soap.
We use the shea butter, palm kernel, coconut oil, and cocoa as potash.
At what point do you use shea butter?
We are just mixing the shea butter with all the ingredients that I called.
Okay.
But the shea butter percentage is high.
The northern region is considered as one of the poorest regions in Ghana. But the shea nut business is improving the lives of many people. Statistics from Shea Network Ghana, a private sector coordinating body for Shea, shows that there are about 1,000 shea traders and 200 shea cooperatives in the country. There are also 11 international factories and 40 shea cosmetic companies. The local traders face challenges in the area of low prices and lack of government supportive policy.
Yeah, I have some little quantity inside the well. Yes, we can go inside.
Alhaji Baba is a bulk distributor of shea nuts to multinational companies. He started the business 17 years ago and has employed many youth.
How can we do? And they were saying that if we can try to make the road...
He does not have the needed support to expand his business.
Ghana's shea nut is considered as one of the best in the world, yet this is a sector that has not been given the needed support.
Let me tell you something. When you come to the market, when we are in share season, you can see everybody is happy in the market. Truck pushers, women, and then the loading boys, all of them, and even drivers. When they come here, it's easy for them to get load to Tema. But when we go to the off-season, you can see how people are suffering in the market. When we try our best to respect this particular share nut, and government come up with support, I think it can help to reduce the poverty in Ghana. How is the major quantity supplier in Tamale?
Alhaji Baba drives me to the market to speak to some female traders.
Better than now. Proper, because up to now they haven't cash.
How much is a bowl?
No, Kurgama, Alanya.
What we're gonna pay no?
That's 3.
So when you fill a bag like this, how
Sao-
much does it go for?
No, I don't cut Palango. Alakabona,
To solve
that
for
140 Ghana.
140 Ghana. Is the business good for you?
No, Dagulma is gelting here.
the vegetative. I'm a. The construction
But
can.
they need support. They have not getting any support.
Then voir de zeuna. I'm a to bring your songs of phone.
What kind of support do you need?
Thank you.
To voir songs of Shea. Come on, the tea and the gulma. The color. Then the two that I'm a lab. I'm a lab. I'm going your lap pump.
The economic importance of shea nuts are varied and many.
The shea industry goes into two major global industries. The first one has to do with cosmetics. The value of cosmetic today is $382 billion. 23% of the industry is the skincare sector, and skincare accounts for 82 billion. The number one raw material base for skincare is shea. It's shea butter. And 82 billion means twice the economy of Ghana. So if we have a business or an industry which is twice the economy of Ghana, and the number one raw material base is shea butter, then we don't need any calculator or pen and paper to tell the contribution that shea butter can bring to this economy. The other industry has to do with the confectionery, and the category here is the chocolate. Chocolate today has 117 billion market value globally, and it's increasing exponentially, especially from the BRICS country, the emerging markets. And shea has some fractions we call the shea stearine, which can be used with other specialty fats to produce what we call cocoa butter equivalent. Today, if you look at the rate at which cocoa prices is growing, it has to do with supply gap between demand and supply. Okay? And the best equivalent which could be used as a substitute is shea fraction called shea stearine. So if we have a market which is about 117 billion, and there's a growing gap of about 200,000 tons in volume, and we have shea butter, then you don't need anybody to tell you that to turn this economy around, we can reposition ourselves to become number one producer and exporter of shea stearine.
In the wake of Ghana's energy crisis, recent studies have also revealed that the byproduct of shea nut can be used to generate electricity. Board chairman of Shea Network Ghana, Prince Obeng, gives me some insights.
We've done a research, and as you can see, the calorific value per kilo is 5,075.
And what does this mean?
It means the energy potential of it. If you take 1 kilo of the biomass, the shea biomass, you can have an energy which is about 5,075. With this energy potential, it means on a dry basis, about 770 grams of the biomass can give you 1 kilowatt of electricity. That tells you the real strength of the shea biomass. So in reality, Northern Ghana with shea does not need akosombo. And I want to repeat here and now that Northern Ghana with the shea nuts does not need akosombo.
Hydroelectric power.
No. We can collect all the nuts fresh by giving money and encouraging and supporting the women so that the income per capita of the woman can quadruple. We take all these nuts, then we crush it. When we crush, we get a butter. The butter goes into the cosmetics, it goes into the confectionery industry. There, I don't want to go in there now. But then the biomass, which we are supposed to throw away, has this energy potential. And we develop gasification plants, about 10 or 20 megawatts gasification plants at vantage points within northern region. Apart from providing electricity for the rural populace, it also serves as energy for irrigation.
Promoting shea butter in the country is a difficulty. Anna Maria, a shea butter advocate, says government can intervene to revamp the shea nut industry.
Our shea butter goes very far because we export to the Body Shop, which is a very big cosmetic company in the UK. And they have about 56 countries they export their cosmetics to. So therefore, when I had the opportunity of going around to Sweden, Germany, UK, and Canada even to talk about the use of shea butter, in fact, the market improved. You could see that many people were rushing in now to buy the shea butter. If the government can help us get a market outside, that will help because most of the shea butter is lying down there or we turn the shea butter into other uses, quite apart from the fact that it contains no cholesterol, and some women use it even for cooking.
There are still key challenges in the sector that needs to be addressed.
The first has to do with lack of, should I call it, government attention to the industry. And it has to do with awareness with respect to the real value of the shea industry. The other difficulty we have has to do with the gap between academia and the industry to develop the right tools, the right processing systems, and the right research so that we can really bring out the true value of the shea to the society. We need to develop the necessary infrastructure to bring the nuts from the hinterlands to the processing centers. Most of the areas don't have roads, or should I call it paths, that can even be used by tricycle. We need energy in processing the fresh fruits. And most of the areas where we find the shea nut, you don't have electricity. And therefore, the women are forced to really use firewood as fuel. And using firewood as fuel is also not sustainable. That means when all the other tree plants are consumed, eventually they'll start falling on the shea tree.
It is estimated that there are about 9 million shea trees in Ghana. This number is reducing because of the destruction of the trees. In certain situations, the trees are felled to pave way for the planting of other economic trees like mango. This trend is threatening the livelihood of those engaged in the shea butter business.
There are some places that they were getting maybe 100 bucks, and this time they are getting 50 bucks. So the nut that we are getting from that place, we are not getting much again. So it is destroying our work slowly.
Most companies using shea butter as raw material base are also worried about the destruction of the shea trees. The boss of SEKAF Ghana Ltd, a cosmetic company, is not happy about this current situation.
Shea trees are very important economic trees in the savanna belt of northern Ghana. Each year, the trees produce close to 120,000 tons of shea nuts, and Ghana exports about 60,000 tons of shea nuts. Now, the value of shea nuts to the economy is close to $36 million.
What is your view on the destruction of shea trees?
Such a very complicated tree that doesn't grow easily, that provides jobs for rural people, that gives us important shea butter that we use in our cosmetics, as well as in the formulation of chocolate, has more value than just cutting it to make firewood. So it doesn't make economic sense to actually cut down a shea tree. In fact, we think that there has to be regulations to prevent the cutting down of shea trees. Otherwise, when these shea trees are gone, we have a generation of rural women who are illiterate, and the only job they have is to produce shea butter. So if these trees are all destroyed, we have to be thinking about how to cater for them. It's going to be a huge social problem on the nation.
Majority of its employees are females. The migration of young girls to the southern part of Ghana for greener pastures is a big problem. The shea nut industry is providing jobs for these girls, preventing them from migrating.
It's very important to us because it creates a lot of job facilities for us, especially those who are working here. If you are working here, at the end of the month, you get something for yourself, and we are benefiting from those things. With this kind of job, there's no need for young girls to go to the south and do career again because there's job here that we earn from it.
Suleiman Lukman Bawa of Shea Ghana Ltd has been advocating for the protection of shea trees.
What this cocoa can give to the Southerners, shea tree also can provide this financial support to we the Northerners too. That is why we have come out that for a campaign that let's protect shea tree. Then when we protect it well, it will also motivate us, and we also get income from the shea tree.
Shea Network Ghana is embarking on a series of educational programs to educate people on the dangers of destroying the trees.
This burning has been going on for over 200 to 300 years. It has been an annual event. But of course, the shea tree has survived that, but the population is declining. It's becoming alarming and interesting and important because that cannot continue. As many as 12 to 15 factories have been invested in Tamale area, from Bupe all the way to Savlugu. Big time monies have gone in to process shea. This is the raw material is coming from the shea trees. So as you continue to destroy them, then these industries and these businesses that create jobs for closer to 900,000 women in the 3 northern regions, and then nationally, in terms of our national income, then of course there is the need for us to stop that. Time has come. These bushfires, this destruction for charcoal, this arbitrary cutting down for plantation, other plantation crops must stop, because the shea has become a business rather than a cultural thing.
What has your organization been doing in the area of protecting shea trees?
The SNG has been looking at what are the relevant laws that are not suitable in protecting and conserving shea. So first, we were looking at Act 571 of Ghana, which establishes the Forestry Commission. The Act, among other things, covers protection from timber, but does not cover NTFP, that is non-timber forest species, including the shea. So we've been advocating, and we are at far advanced level in trying to include shea in what we call a schedule of economic trees, such as cocoa, that are protected. So even if you have to cut them, then there's an economic implication. We are at far advanced level with that. The second level we are looking at is engaging with 30 district assemblies in the 3 northern regions, in fact 33, for each of the district assemblies to have local level bylaws that are gazetted, that seek to protect shea trees.
The Savlugu District Assembly has made some attempts to prevent the destruction of the shea trees.
So far, what we have done, we have been able to pass a bylaw to protect the environment. And this bylaw, we are addressing the issue of shea nuts trees and other economic trees.
In the area of enforcement, how do you ensure that the bylaws that you've enacted are strictly adhered to?
In terms of enforcement, what we do as Savlugu Nanton Municipal Assembly, we use the traditional the authorities, to help us in enforcing the bylaws that we have enacted at the District Assembly. We have also established committees, environmental committees, at the community level. We call it Community Environmental Committee, CMC. They are also responsible for the protection of the environment in general. So far, we have not been able to prosecute anybody, because our court system, we have to go to Tamale, to do the prosecution. But we are currently working with the judicial services to ensure that Savlugu Nanton gets its own courts, so they will be able to prosecute offenders of the environment.
Some traditional authorities have also now recognized the importance of the shea trees.
to ku yan yima gu po yi to ku to re ti yan chang wana yan yam na te yima ka te yi.
The University for Development Studies is nursing shea trees to prevent it from growing extinct.
The advantages of bringing them into cultivation are many. You are able to control the production, you are able to improve upon the varieties, you are able to improve on even the quality of the products. They are selected from trees that are high yielding. If you take all the trees in question, you see that there's a wide range difference between the quantities that are yielded by individual trees. So you wouldn't go to trees that are poor yielding and plant. And yield is genetically heritable. And if you include good agronomic practices, you can triple or even quadruple yields of any tree. Shea the research has showed that it is possible.
In view of the enormous contribution of shea nuts to the livelihood of women in northern Ghana, it is imperative to enact bylaws to control the open destruction of shea trees. From the northern region of Ghana, see you same time next week for another edition of On the Frontline. I am Thomas Naadi Bitlegma.
Kura Mariama, Kura Dangana, Kura Ashetu, Satu Panga Swale, Panga Koshiru Mangura, Satu Panga Swale, Panga Koshiru Mangura, Sakuraya Kuraya, Bombala Kuraya Kuraya.
On the Frontline, proudly brought to you by UT Life Insurance.